Imagine this. A woman is pregnant, a DNA test shows a match with two men at once. Is it a lab error, fraud, or can a child actually have two biological fathers? It sounds like a talk show plot, but in medicine, such cases are officially recorded. Today we'll find out if one child can biologically have two fathers, and if so, how that's even possible. The main question is simple. Can one child have two biological fathers? But to answer it, we need to understand how fatherhood is determined at all. Can one woman get pregnant by two men at the same time? What happens at the egg level, and what does a DNA test show in such a case? Let's find out. Normally, it all looks simple. During ovulation, one egg is released and one sperm fertilizes it. The result is a zygote, a 50-50 genetic mix. The child gets half their DNA from the mother and half from the father, and a DNA test checks exactly for this match of genetic markers. But what if during ovulation, not one egg appears, but two? Yes, this is called double ovulation. Sometimes the body releases two eggs in one cycle, and if both are fertilized, fraternal twins are born. Importantly, they're genetically like regular siblings, they were just born at the same time. And now for the key point. If in a short period of time a woman had contact with two different men, then it turns out that each egg can be fertilized by different sperm, and then these twins will have different biological fathers. And this isn't a theory, it's a medical fact. In 2015, in the United States of America, a case was recorded where a paternity test showed one twin matched the alleged father while the other didn't. A reanalysis confirmed the children have different biological fathers. Research estimates such cases make up 1 to 2% of disputed twin paternity tests. Is it rare? Yes. Is it impossible? No. But here's an important point. This only works for twins. But can one child, not a twin, have two fathers? This is where it starts to sound almost like science fiction. For one embryo to have two fathers, two sperm would have to fertilize one egg at the same time. And indeed, this sometimes happens. But such an embryo is almost always non-viable. But why? Because you get a triple set of chromosomes, 69 instead of 46. And such pregnancies almost always end sadly. So two sperm can enter one egg, but a full-term baby almost never develops that way. Now pay attention. There are so-called chimeric organisms. Sometimes two embryos at an early stage can fuse into one. Imagine two zygotes joining together and a single organism developing. As a result, a person can have cells with different DNA inside one body. Such cases are actually documented, and theoretically, if two embryos were fertilized by different men and then fused, you'd get one child with genetic input from two different fathers and different cells of the body. This is no longer just super rare. It's almost an anomaly on the level of a medical fluke, but biologically it's still possible. This is where the legal nightmare begins. If a child's a chimera, a blood test might show one father while a tissue analysis shows another. There have been such cases. In the United States of America, there was a story where a woman almost lost her parental rights because her DNA didn't match her own children's. It was later discovered that she was a chimera. Now, imagine a similar situation with paternity. A test can show different results depending on which cells are being analyzed. So, can a child have two fathers? If we're talking about two twins, yes, they can have different fathers. One child is a chimera? Theoretically, yes. But if it's one embryo from two sperm cells, then almost always that child simply won't be able to be born. So a simple yes or no answer is impossible in this situation. After all, biology is much more complex than just a school textbook. The most interesting thing about this topic isn't even the sensation, but that our idea of kinship, legal or social, is much simpler than real genetics. Nature isn't obliged to fit our schemes, and sometimes it creates combinations that sound like a plot for Netflix. But this isn't science fiction, it's cell evolution and just biology. So in short, a child can have two biological sources of paternal DNA, but only in extremely rare and unusual scenarios. And that's exactly why genetics is one of the most unexpected sciences about humans. Thank you for watching this video until the end. As always, this was the FataMorgana channel. And if you want even more topics that sound like clickbait but turn out to be real science, subscribe, because it'll only get more interesting.